Hi everyone and welcome to Triple M Adventures with Bill. I've been flying the Syma toy grade quadcopter with my jumper T16 and was having problems because the quadcopter is so light that when you chop the throttle down you could accidentally turn the motors off and then the quadcopter fell out of the sky. The flight controller on there was quite quick to respond to re-level it, but I decided I needed to change this. Now on the websites that I quoted on the video I did on setting up that quadcopter on your jumper T16, it said about setting up what they call a basic air mode. So I set up the air mode on the quadcopter so that if you chop the throttle, the motors would carry on spinning, therefore the gyros would carry on doing the work of trying to level out the quadcopter. But what I found was, as from a previous video, now I've set up a safety throttle so that if the throttle's raised, and even though there is no flight controller on there that you can set up to go into safe mode, I set it up so that it could. But when I started using the air mode, I wanted it on a switch. And when I did this, it would override the disarmed. So as soon as you flicked the switch or left the switch on air mode, the motors would start spinning. So I didn't like the idea of this. So what I did an adjustment, which actually took me some time to figure out how to do, but I managed to get the settings on the radio so that it would do this. So it didn't matter if the quadcopter was disarmed and you flicked the switch for the air mode, nothing would happen until the quadcopter was actually armed. So here's my video showing you how to do that. Let's take a look at the radio and let me show you the settings you need to put into your radio to have the air mode activated.
Welcome to OpenTX. Disarm motors. High rates off. Flip mode off. Stop video capture. Air mode deactivated.
Okay, let's go into the model. And first window we need to go to. The inputs stay the same as you've set up the safe throttle. But in the mixes, we need to add in this line. Now to do that, you hold down the button, the scroll button, and say insert after. And then we are going to come back to modify that line later on. We need to do the logical switches first. So we go another page, 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 page. Okay, now we're in the logical switches. First thing we need to do is set up a sticky logical switch for SC. This is the one that I'm using for the air mode. So
air mode activated. Air mode deactivated.
As you can see on the screen, it's activating.
Air mode deactivated.
Okay, so we need to change this line to be sticky and then SC with the
air mode activated.
Switch in the middle position.
Air mode deactivated.
Then we go into logical switch 8. We need to set in there A is smaller than X, and in the next column choose the switch, the SC switch, then put a value in the next column of 100 and then use my arm switch in this column. So there we go, you can see how that works. On the next line we are going to put in OR, and then its logical switch, it references to logical switch LO8. In the next line, you put logical switch 09, and again, the switch will be the arm switch.
Disarm motors.
Okay, once you've done that, we can go page. In the special functions, you heard the sounds. I did custom sounds for the
air mode activated
and another sound for
air mode deactivated.
I actually quite like making the sound, so that you could do the same if you wanted to. Now we're going to page back round again, and we're going to come to the mixes. Now in the new line you added to the throttle channel, which in my case is channel 3, if we hold down the scroll button and then click, we can edit. In here you just need to put the values that I've put here. So I called the mix name idle, and then I put source is logical switch L09, the weight is 15%, the offset is -15%, and everything else stays as is until you get to the switch, and that must be this switch whichever you choose to activate that system. And as you can see, if the quadcopter is disarmed,
Air mode activated.
we get a -226, which means it's still disarmed.
Air mode deactivated.
Until we arm here,
Armed.
and now you'll see with the throttle down, if I do that, I'm getting 4% throttle, which makes it technically the air mode. So as you can see,
Air mode deactivated.
but as soon as that is
Disarm motors.
disarmed, that
Air
switch
mode
becomes
activated.
inactivated.
Air mode deactivated.
And there we go. That's how you set it up, so that you've got a sort of air mode on the toy grade quadcopter, which works nicely. It makes it far easier to fly than you chop in the throttle and then the thing falls out of the air. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, and please share this with your friends. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below, because as usual, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.
Disarm motors.